He called you a cowboy. What did he mean? What are you?
No, I'm going to kill you.
Just a humble bounty hunter, man.
Yo. Aha! What's going on, y'all? Your boy is, your boy is pumped right now, man. Look, before I dive in to the newest episode of my new podcast, can I rap with y'all? You know what I mean? Can I really speak from my motherfucking heart? You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to let loose in this motherfucker today. Do you mind? Do you mind? Ugh. Oh, shit. Let me just unwind, man. Let me just break it on down. Because before I start talking about the topics that we going to cover today, I first just want to, you know what I mean? I really want to just tap in. And I'm talking directly to you. And I got to say, man, thank you. You know what I mean? Like real shit. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I say it every chance that I normally get to really tap in and show appreciation for the people that is real life supporting what I'm doing on here. You know what I mean? I feel like it's now my obligation. You know what I'm saying? It's my duty to keep it a buck with you at all times, to build and continue to help with what I'm doing on this channel for not only my shit, but of course tapping in with y'all as dancers, as viewers, or just people that, just like I said, support what I'm doing. It's really important to me to where I let y'all notice, because without y'all, I'm just a man with a mic talking to nobody. You know what I mean? So I really got to look at everything that I'm building on this channel, and I'm seeing the numbers. I mean, I always say I think I deserve a little bit, you know what I mean, more than what I get, because that's what the people be telling me too. But when I really look at the numbers, I just appreciate it. You know what I mean? I sit back and I look at everything and I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Look at where I was last year. Definitely wasn't touching these numbers. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, wow, I can really see how people is rocking with me now, you know? And it's not as if it was, you know, before I had to watch specific people almost. You know what I'm saying? I really just wanted to take my time and just say thank you. You know, I'm being dead serious, because it really mean a lot to me to see all the love and support that people have been throwing at me for me trying to do my part and what I feel like is necessary to, like I said, help the dance community grow, help you guys as individuals within your dance, or maybe just to give insight and perspective based off of the experiences that I've had throughout my years of being in this dance scene. And it's something that I still haven't really talked about. It won't be really discussed in this episode, but you know, my years of being in this dance shit is deep. Like I'm talking at least got to be like close to like 12, 14-ish years, something like that. I can't really remember the number. It's got to be longer than that, because I got videos already on the tube for those that found them. That's going back like 14, 15 plus years, man. It's been a long time. And I just feel like with everything that I've been blessed to know and blessed to learn, there's a lot of things that I feel like I want to give out, because I also want to see the people grow. You know what I mean? So I just had to take my time, speak on that real quick before we hop into my newest episode number 2 of my new podcast, Enter the Palace. I'm your boy Metal. You know what I mean? AKA your dance doctor. I hope you didn't forget that. You know what I'm saying? And I got some stuff to talk about, man. I'm going to get deep on y'all, man. Like I said before, do you mind? Because I really want to speak, man. I don't want to hold nothing back. You know what I'm saying? I really want to let y'all have it. Let y'all feel every piece of what I'm saying. So that way it really sits with y'all. I hope it sticks. You know what I mean? And let's just go ahead and break it on down right now. Let's just go ahead and do what we do. You know what I'm saying? The first topic I feel like that is necessary to talk about, because I got 3. You know what I mean? I felt that this one was important to speak on first, because before we start talking about anything, anybody, what's wrong, what needs to be improved on, this, that, and the third, you always, what I believe, need to focus first on self. You know what I mean? You can't look at everybody else and think you ain't a problem. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and break that down. What I want to focus on within self is basically to talk about your disciplines. Okay? I want to talk about the disciplines within how you train. I want to talk about the disciplines in your work ethic, the disciplines in how you lab for your dance, the commitment aspect to what you are willing to invest in your dance. This is all an investment for the most part. You know what I mean? When I looked at it, like I was going to summer dance, right? Didn't make it past prelims. Not really stressing on it, looking back and seeing where I'm at now. Woo! Don't play yourself, man. I'm way beyond that stage. But still looking at it like it was a learning experience for me. You know, at first I was definitely feeling some type of way because, you know, I mean, I trained. I mean, look, like I trained. How was my discipline looking though? You know what I mean? That's what we're going to talk about in a second. But I trained, put in the work, flew all the way over there. You know what I mean? Spent my own bread, flew over there. Got me a spot, everything, man. Did the prelims, didn't do what I wanted to do. Blacked out, man. Didn't necessarily just fully black out, but I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Didn't make it past prelims. I looked at all that time I spent, and I was like, damn, man, like, I spent weeks, months training for this shit. Everything that I put into it, you know what I mean? All I had was 60 seconds to do what I was supposed to do, and I didn't do it. So now it's like I was out there for that one sole reason, and you know what I mean? Now what? You know what I'm saying? But outside of the investment for what we normally look at, which is like the battles or like whatever opportunities you might have, it starts with your practice. You know what I mean? We're not talking about nothing else. We talking about practice. I'm not talking about a battle. I'm not talking about an Instagram video. I'm not talking about, you know what I mean, you doing site. I'm talking about practice. You know what I'm saying? Practice, it's where it all starts. You know what I'm saying? Look, when I see people dance nowadays, I just feel like there's a lack of discipline in people's training. There's so much information that is thrown at you. How much of it do you really retain, and how much of it are you really applying to your practice? So many people constantly talk amongst each other, talk in groups or just in general communicate things about the dance that they wish they could do. They wish they could do better. They wish you don't know how to do it, that's different. You got to do a little bit of your homework. But a lot of times people sit on the information. It's been there. You've already been involved in that space where you could get the information that you was looking for, or you've already literally been handed the information. And maybe within the moments of inspiration, you go to practice and it just starts to decline. You start to revert back to some of your familiar traditions when you practice, how you normally get down, how you normally practice. You're not disciplined enough to commit to what it is that you are intending to do so that you can get better at what it is you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Then you get to the space in which you want to get better, but you want to go maybe to the ciphers, you want to get to the battles, you want to get to the whatever it is where you want to demonstrate your abilities, but you maybe have watched visually so much of what you like and all these things, but then you always maybe question, why is my dance not reflecting that? You feel like you put in the time. You know what I mean? You practice what? All day? Ain't that what some people be saying? I practice 24 hours a day. That, don't you practice all day? You know what I mean? You questioning your stuff like, what's going on? What's going on, Bucko? I would just say the key word is discipline. You know what I mean? I feel like people practice, but what are you practicing? And then at that point, where is your focus? You know what I mean? Are you committed to the practice? Within that practice and that level of determination to focus, how long do you stay focused before you start slipping and you start going into other things? I feel like I have this problem still. You know what I mean? My span of time where I focus on things might be a little bit longer, and I'm definitely a little bit more comfortable now to where when I say I'm going to stay on this, I stay on it, but it happens to me too. You know what I mean? I was taking a tie-dye's workshop. And I mean, the man was dropping knowledge. I don't really have much experience in crump. I'm not really familiar. I'm not really hip to it. You know what I mean? And he was teaching for a long time. And the amount of knowledge that he was throwing at me, I was just like, yo, 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 yo. I'm good. I'm going to tap out right here. You know what I mean? Because everything else would have just been in abundance. You know what I'm saying? He taught so much material, so much basics, so much within the foundation where I'm like, yo, this is good right here for me, bucko. It's going to take me about a couple months to even be able to tap into this, because not only am I looking to do the moves. So this is where I'm also talking to you. I'm not looking to do just the moves. There's feeling behind the moves. There's intention behind the moves. I got to know why I'm doing this. There's grooves behind the moves. You know what I mean? There's timing behind the moves. There's certain techniques, certain coordination where I'm not really trying to just do the move. You get what I mean? So sometimes for me, I will literally do the same move over and over and over and build more comfort within the move to be able to dish it out several different ways. But when I see eyes doing something, I don't see him doing it in just one particular fashion. Even if it's that one move, he does it in abundance of different ways. He does it differently every time. Anytime that I've seen him do stuff, you know what I mean? He could do it the exact same way, but he also has variations in how he delivers it. Why? Because his dedication, his commitment, you know what I mean, to being able to work. Well, obviously he built the whole thing. You know what I mean? The discipline to create a dance style, I can't even begin to imagine, which is why I definitely want to be able to tap in with some of those creators and get them to speak from their experience, how they discipline themselves enough to be able to create a whole blueprint, a whole foundation for a style. You know what I mean? Discipline to me is just the key word. When I hear people go into the battle, and myself included, when I don't do what I didn't intend to do, what I maybe been doing in my practices, my focus maybe was all over the place. I've talked about this before, where maybe you're focused on the people, maybe you're focused on the judges, maybe you're focused too much on pressures that you put on yourself, maybe you focused on all the irrelevant things other than you just being able to relax. You already did the work, right? You did the work. Your experiences in that setting are a reflection of your work at times. You know what I mean? So literally in those moments when I say you black out or you enter the zone or you tap in, whatever you want to call it, you're subconsciously doing things that are already embedded in you. You know what I mean? You constantly tap into the mental at that point where everything is just memories at this point. You just kind of do stuff off the top of your head. And maybe if you're focused, like sometimes when people is freestyling and they rap and they see a pen, then they start rapping about the pen because they saw it, focused on it, and they started thinking about stuff off rip, just blah, 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 the pen, the you know what I mean? Just started going off. Then they see something else and they start freestyling. But their focus was on material things. So then that's how they was able to deliver. But some people's focus when they go into the round is literally on nothing. You know what I mean? But then if they black out and they go into that space, subconsciously though, you might be able to tap in due to your training. You know what I mean? In most cases, people can go to the gym and work out for months and still weeble wobble they ass to work every day and still not be the size that they want to be. You know what I mean? It's nothing but respect because they still putting in the time. But some people, then they like, damn, do I need a trainer? You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that because that's also one of the topics. But I'm looking at your discipline. You know what I mean? I'm looking at your discipline and where your influences come from. Because aside from the discipline, right, I feel like a lot of the influence, definitely as of late, is all related to social media. You know what I mean? That's my second topic where I feel like it's beyond necessary to speak up on this, because before we had communities, which I already talked about in episode 0, where the culture, the dance culture, the street culture, all that stuff is dead. Within the space where it's more like how do I want to put it on like a mainstream platform or something like that. Like there's nowhere to go, but maybe individuals are still upholding some of the principles, the cultures, because there's still dancers like myself that still get down. They still training, no question. Don't doubt that for a second. You know what I mean? But on a public setting, there's really nothing out there. You got people like, shout out to Versastyles, you know what I mean, that still spread education publicly. They want to put on for the people to get others involved outside of the dance, to not only allow them to be in a space where they can throw down, but educate people as well. They put on shows to demonstrate different abilities, different dancers, highlight different dancers. You know what I'm saying? Great 1-8ers. They put on for their community in a multitude of different ways. You know what I mean? Look into those two groups. Look into those establishments, you know what I mean, that are really holding it down in their communities. You know what I'm saying? But there's not too many out here in the US. There's not too many places that I know of where you can literally have your hand in something and it's for everybody. It's a community thing. You know what I mean? It's more so you just know this person, so you get down with this person. But because the lack of that, and of course because of COVID, all eyes have been locked into everything on social media. We have nowhere else to get, you know what I mean, a fix for the dance from. You can't go nowhere publicly. You know what I mean? There's no more personable public events. You know what I mean? There's no place where you can go to catch a vibe with people, at least during the last year or so, because you couldn't get down with nobody. So everybody has been tuned in to what's going on social media. I feel like the relevancy of a lot of social media performers or the whole TikTok trend, all that stuff is because our attention is so focused on that. And then it's even worse because I feel like for the people that are not that experienced, right? Anybody that goes through their journey of the dance, they're not the problem. You know what I mean? There was a point when I was ignorant and I thought this meant that and I thought this is how shit worked. And then as I gained more experience, I'm like, word, okay. I'm starting to understand shit more now. I'm starting to see the bigger picture. Okay, I get that that's what I thought it was, but it's not really. You know what I mean? The more I experience, the more I grow within the dance, the more I get more insight, which is what I try to share with you guys. So at the same time, anybody that goes about their journey where they thought, a specific thing, they thought dubstep dance was a real thing. They call the newest school hip hop or the new birth of like they just got all these different terms that are not real. You know what I mean? That's not it. It's just hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's popping. Or there's styles. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a lot of these things, but there's styles within the dance that people gravitate towards and they pick apart. They take pieces and then they put their dance together and then say this is me being me. No, you took your dance from different things and then you go on social media and then you present that to the people. And then there's an abundance of people that are influenced by said person, or there's a bunch of people that literally gravitate towards this because they start to see the numbers. You got to understand social media does have an effect. There's times where I literally want to delete my Instagram, my social media platforms, because I'm starting to see how shit can be tainted from my mind. I start paying attention to the numbers. I start seeing what they're doing that's trending. I start seeing how the videos are shot. Do you recognize how many times when you see one person doing a video, whether it be shout out to my man's Ant or Cooley, how they produce it, how shit starts to become more popular? You start to see other people getting videos like that, or you start to see other people mimic the videos that are shot like that, or you see the effects that people add, then you see other people add the effects, then you see other people trying to do the same trends, you know what I mean? You see people do one dance move, and all of a sudden everybody doing it. You see one person featured in somebody's dance video, now that person is featured in everybody's dance video. It's just the way people go about it because the influences of social media. You know what I mean? If somebody blows up because they did a lock-in, you know what I mean? The people that are watching, realistically, they are looking at the social media post and they are looking at it with levels of inspiration. I understand. I get it. You know what I mean? There was a time when I genuinely was inspired by someone like Slim Boogie, and nobody had to tell me to be inspired by him. I was just inspired. That's why I'm not knocking anybody for the love that they have towards whatever it is that they love. You know what I'm saying? If they watched this person get down and that's what got them in, I'm more so thankful. I'm glad that this video or this post or whatever it was able to bring you in. I know how special that is. You know what I mean? It's not to argue with that. It's more so the jaded perspective of when people get in and they idolize that or they look up to that. And they don't know that there's a whole style that this comes from, or there's a whole culture that this comes from, or there's just more. They literally only look at what the person is doing and the reaction that the person gets. So they see an immediate response, and they see the gratitude that people show towards the person, or the love, or the embracement that people get from doing this particular way of getting down, and they follow suit. You know what I mean? I said to y'all, I wanted to stop watching the exhibitions. I said before, I wanted to get off Instagram so many times because I started to see how it was constantly being in my face. I kept being on Instagram. I kept seeing the TikToks and the same type of posts, all these different things it was different for me, but it was changing my perspective on how I view things. And I'm like, yo, I got to get the fuck off. I really got to get the fuck off because of the influence that social media was having on how I view dance. But I come from a different background where I'm definitely not anything like that. We didn't have none of these things. You know what I mean? Like I'm not cut from that same cloth where it's like I look at the dance to be an actual social gathering. Like you do this in person, or you go to places to meet people, the communities within it, the culture behind it. You get down to live DJs scratching and shit like that. You get down with the people, the energy. You train with the community, you know what I mean? If you got to go bust a mission, you already know the whole community is going to be there by the time you get, like, there's just things that are different. Whereas like social media though, it's a little bit uncomfortable for me, only because I see it like it's a cheaper version of what I had, a knockoff version. You know what I mean? Because you're just getting less. You know what I mean? And like I said, people will pick and choose. You'll see people break down Memphis Juke, and we started watching some on the channel where I've never seen someone, at least in this setting, break down or do Memphis Juking, unless it was an actual valid elite dancer that does Memphis Juking. But anybody like the hybrids that just take a little bit of it, I've never seen it done right. Crip walking, when did that become all of a sudden where I'm seeing tutorials of people teaching crip walking that don't know shit about the dance, the style, the culture, the gang related activities that go behind that shit, where you can really get snuffed. Like that's why sometimes even the influence that the dance can have on you, where it's like you start dressing a certain way, you start talking a certain way, you start operating a certain way, and it's starting to look like, nigga, talk to the wrong person, he might bust you in your motherfucking mouth. You thinking you this person that you're not, because you're trying to put on this act, this front, you know what I mean, off of things that you just seen on the gram or whatever it is, and a motherfucker gonna be like, hey nigga, I don't know who you talking to, but you better knock that shit off or I knock your teeth out. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different things that you gotta really check self. So we talked about the disciplines, but what is it that you're doing within this dance? You know what I mean? Like, you can be inspired, but at some point you gotta take the wheel. I was inspired by the twins. You go find that old channel that I was talking about. There's videos of me literally mimicking the twins. I wasn't on some Ayo and Teo shit, but I was damn near close. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, the influence is real. I understand it. And at some point, for those that love the dance, they will further their experiences, their knowledge. And that's probably the people that I'm talking to. I mean, I really feel like my main purpose is to give insight and knowledge based off of my experiences, but from a generalized objective perspective, where I'm not really speaking from like an emotional standpoint, like everybody needs to be poppers. Yeah, man, you gotta be poppers, and you better love Slim Boogie. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to push that agenda. I'm not even really talking about him. It's more so just furthering your knowledge in whatever style it is that you do. Surround yourself with people that have access to the style, or put yourself in a position where you become a part of the culture that your dance come from. You know what I mean? That's one of the main things that I feel like that could bring us out of the social media phase, where it's like we only have this to gravitate towards right now. I told you I don't want to watch exhibitions because all we got right now is Battle Fest. And then some of the random stuff that be coming out of the Europe scene or something like that. But 2 years ago, I don't know no nigga that was talking about a Battle Fest. Battle Fest had its own setting, had its own place where it thrived, you know what I mean? Had its own group of people that connected with it. I knew of Battle Fest. I never ever watched a Battle Fest video until that Havoc versus Blueprint one. You know what I mean? And that was just off a wreck. I think I've seen it before, but never really watched it. But I knew of it for sure. I knew of Battlefest, but Battlefest wasn't in this space where we at in LA. You know what I mean? Out here in this scene where we get down. It was not. It was not. And again, it was more so about styles. So nowadays, everything within the social media stuff where you're able to blend all these things together, you guys really only thrive due to all style events. Like before, all style was like an option. You know what I mean? Like you had the possibility to battle still because of all styles, but just that was something like, we put these two styles together. We can't do all the styles. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna go ahead and put out popping and breaking. If you don't do those two, we got an all styles category for you. So boom, you know what I mean? Just to make it easier for the other people that showed up. But all styles is at the top now. Motherfuckers there's no focus on really styles no more. So everything about what's going on, from the social media influences to the discipline to what I talk about, the culture being dead, you know what I mean? It all starts to play a part into why I feel like it looks the way it looks, why it is the way that it is. You know what I mean? It's definitely in a bad space right now. And ultimately, I feel like the main thing that could have made stuff better, which is to push it to the last topic, is the lack of leaders in the dance scene. So with the lack of leaders really in the dance scene, I feel like there's a lot of people that have definitely spoke to me and told me that they want to do this or they want to be that next person lined up. Sometimes they just don't know what to do though. They don't know how to go about it. I talked to you guys about a person that wants to lose weight, but they feel like they're doing the work. I mean, they real life dedicating themselves to going to the gym, and they not seeing the results that they want. It's not their fault. Sometimes they have the discipline. They just don't have the knowledge. They don't have the insight as to what to do specifically to see the results that they want. You know what I mean? So the people that I'm talking to is the people, yeah, I see you. You know what I mean? You work. You put in work. You really want this. You know what I mean? You're not in it just for the fun. You know what I mean? You real life want to see some results. You real life want to get to that next level. You real life want to raise the bar. You real life want to apply pressure in your dance. But for some reason, you know what I mean? It's not clicking. There's something that's missing for you. Everybody needs guidance. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you're doing something, and you feel like you can just do it all on your own, you're probably not setting the bar high enough. You know what I mean? You cannot do none of this shit on your own. You know what I mean? Everybody needs help. For the most part, I have people that come to me in this position that I've now been in, blessed in, to where people ask me a lot of times now if I can give them insight, give them knowledge, perspective. You know what I mean? On how to get better. And I feel like that's necessary because there are many dancers now that are younger now. There is a new generation of dancers. All the TikTokers and all that shit we talk about, those are the new generation. I know I don't personally see like younger people doing styles that much, but there are younger dancers. It's just the way that they're going about it is completely different from how I did it. And that's fine. But you know, when I speak, I just speak publicly, and whoever gets their hands on it, if it connects to them, I'm glad. So then that way we can further have more discussions about different things and different ways to educate you in maybe the path that you want to take to further your knowledge and your experience within the dance. You know what I mean? But there's also a lot of people that have come to me, and the part that is unfortunate is it ties in with the discipline because they see what I've already done. They see a finished product. You understand what I mean? When you see me, unless you see me maybe when I'm practicing, but even by then, it's a culmination of years of work that you're looking at. You're not looking at something that, you know what I mean, I just started last week. So of course, if you're dancing with a person like that, you probably don't have nothing to ask them because they just started. But when you ask me, you're asking me to teach you something or to help you with something that you're viewing from what I'm doing that's already completed. You know what I mean? You have to go back. So I try to get insight from people to see where's your mind at? What is it that you want out of this? And what is it that you see that I'm doing that you would like to embody or to be able to replicate in your dance? But in most cases, people, unfortunately, are not able to put in that work. But there are some that just need that guidance. They see that when you tell them, yo, you gotta take it back though. I gotta take you back a couple years, a decade or something like that to show you some of these basics. Like, yo, let's do it. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go. Those are probably some of the dedicated ones. Because I didn't get to this point, or ask anybody, ask any person, whoever it is that you're asking to teach you, whatever it is that they're demonstrating for you, they didn't just get that shit. I bet you they got probably 10 plus years on their belt. Easy. But the other problem is the fact that I don't feel like I see enough mentors in public spaces. Again, there's not too many, you know what I mean, that you can go to. But what I saw happen again with some of the things, the effects of COVID, social media becoming like the hub, you realize how many dancers I saw start to teach. But I feel like, to keep it a buck, it wasn't really people starting to teach just for the love, just for wanting to share the knowledge, like maybe what I'm talking about or what my teacher Tabo does. They started to teach because they lost out on them gigs. They needed some money. It's valid. I understand that. You know what I mean? It was some tough times last year. I'm not going to question that at all. But there's not enough people genuinely and willingly looking to lead the charge to further the culture and further the perspective of how to grow within this dance. So you got people of the younger generation not really having no type of guidance, and social media is on the forefront. So when kids look at it and they're like, dang, that looks tight, they see the responses. I mean, what other motherfucker? That's like 1 + 1 is 2 right there. I'll just do that. You know what I mean? I've been in that position where it's like you want to learn something and you don't feel like you're getting access to it. You know what I mean? So then you just go about it your own way. But there is not enough leaders putting their hand on the wheel and steering this motherfucker. You know what I mean? There's not enough people with the valid knowledge and perspective putting themselves out there unless it's for the money. You know what I mean? And that's not to say you shouldn't invest in what they're doing, but I feel like when I was coming up, I didn't have to pay to go to Homeland. Homeland was free. I didn't have to pay to see Frantic in the cut getting down with some of his goons. You know what I mean? I didn't have to pay to see some of the OGs, OG Jekyll. You know what I mean? Wavo-Matic. Wavo motherfucking Matic. I didn't have to pay to see none of that. You know what I mean? I didn't have to pay to see Tabo. I didn't have to pay to see Slim and Kid Boogie get down at the Homeland jams and see them practice or train. I didn't have to pay to see none of that. You know what I mean? I was a part of a community. I was a part of the culture where everybody was just trying to level up in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? So it's not to say don't pay. I'm actually telling you, you should do the opposite. Invest. We talked about that earlier. Invest in what you want to learn. But at the same time, I feel like there needs to be more opportunities where people have access to the elders, to the OGs, to the people with more experience. So that way, like, I want to create a big motherfucking table to where we can all congregate and openly share knowledge or discuss things from different perspectives due to different styles or different ways of living, and openly give game. Everything that I feel like I'm dishing right now is just me giving y'all free game. You know what I mean? There's not too many leaders in this dance shit that's able to help guide people. You know what I mean? Especially out here in the West. So everybody goes about it their own way. From a creative standpoint, I see it a lot. Definitely. I think people naturally, willingly can always tap in to a creative side when you just let go. Because you're genuinely your own person. So that you're gonna do things in a very authentic way that is just different because of who you are. But the discipline that people apply to their dance within the foundations can make everybody look the same. Hence, that's why Poppin' looks the same. So people are very disciplined, maybe like in Asia, overseas, and things of that such. Maybe in Europe, though, their discipline mixed with their creativity puts them in a position where you have Majids, Alex the Cages, Diablos, you have Rashkas, you have Wade D's, you have memorable motherfuckers, you have Poppin' Princes. You know what I'm saying? You got an abundance of people that can look different. Frankie, Nelson, all them people. We know who they are. You know what I mean? It's many more that I didn't speak of. My man Spider, you know what I mean? Rubik's cut. There's a whole bunch. I could take up the whole podcast naming all y'all motherfuckers, so I'm not finna do it. But I don't know how they get down, but I think there's a sense of unity in what they have out there, where I definitely don't see that over here. I definitely don't. There's nobody to bring people together in a space where it's publicly available. And I'm not saying that people don't put out shit. I've seen it all the time. People host things. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, open cipher, come through, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like when I have my spot, my Meadows Palace building, and I open it up for people to come practice weekly, open spot, publicly, you know what I mean? Mondays, 7 to 10. If I look at it like I had it open for maybe half a year, and people ain't coming, people ain't pulling up, people ain't showing up, that's just a reflection of the scene. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? I can't do nothing else about that. At this point, everything that I've already mentioned, these are some of the things that I think led to what it already is. So there's nothing that like, if you have Slim teaching for $5 and nobody's showing up, it already is what it is. You know what I mean? When you got a bad grade in class, you know what I'm saying? You got to do extra work just to get it back to what it was supposed to be, like an average C or something like that. Then you got to do extra work just to put it back to an A. So we already behind. We got to do extra work just to get out of the motherfucking hole that we in. You know what I mean? These things that I'm speaking of, these are just 3 simple topics. More so, again, you have to focus on self. You got to look at yourself and see what is it that you're doing. You know what I mean? When you're influenced by people, you're influenced by Paradox, or you're influenced by me, or you're influenced by Baby Tie-Dyes or something like that, you're looking at a finished product. How do you go about your practice? Do you go about it mimicking? More than likely. But then, like I said, when you dissect what it is that you're doing and you find some of the basics within it, you find a foundation within it, then now you have a base to start with. How are you training? Are you just doing the same repetitive movement over and over and over and over? Are you trying to develop sets? Is that what it is that you're doing? Or are you literally are you doing 10 push-ups over and over and over and over and over and you thinking you're going to see results? No, nigga, because you're only doing 10 push-ups. So, I mean, you already set the bar right there. How are you trying to expand? How are you trying to further your dance? The main thing that I give credit to with having a lack of leaders is I recognize how blessed and difficult it is within this dance shit. Dance is not a one focused thing, like a singularly drawn out lane where all you got to do is this and you get the rest of it. It's like, no, like when you work out, you don't just work out. There's a certain way to work out. There's certain foods you have to eat. There's certain things you have to drink. There's certain calories you have to take. There's certain ways you have to uphold your body and do things outside of the gym. So for the dance, at least, you know what I mean? There's certain movements that for the style that you're trying to do that you're going to have to become comfortable with, or you have to start to understand. Outside of the movement, though, maybe you want to learn some technique. There's certain techniques that you're going to have to learn that's going to take mad time. You know what I mean? Techniques aren't steps. Techniques are things within your body that literally are going to take time. There's nobody that I feel like just got techniques on point within a day or two. It's going to take you some time. You know what I mean? Then aside from the techniques, the music, which I feel like a lot of people lack in. You have to understand music. And I feel like that's something that fucked me up, because there's a lot of things that we just don't think about within this dance shit because it's all bundled up into one. So you dance, you got your dance bag, but there's so many multitudes of parts that go within this shit that's just all lumped into one. You know what I mean? But when you break your shit down, there's a lot that you have to understand within your dance to where the person that is at the top is, because I believe they have that level of understanding. First of all, they know what they want to do. They understand the techniques that they're implementing. They understand their body to incorporate isolations. They understand how to free flow. They understand how to add grooves and all this other types of shit. And then on top of that, fundamentally, the moves that they're incorporating, maybe within the music, they understand how to do different timing. They understand how to do different textures. They understand how to do different speed changes. They understand how to slow it down, speed up. You know what I mean? The song is still at the same tempo. They know how to ride the beat, or they know how to dismantle it, break it down, go to the and counts. You know what I mean? 16th notes in between. There's so much shit. So much shit. And like I said, I just be giving free game because I feel like it's necessary. I feel like all this shit is necessary. Like I said with the tie-dyes joint, I saw so much that he was dropping in that tutorial. I'm like, yo, stop. I didn't even see the rest of the shit. You know, because this right here, I got a lot to work on. This shit right here, nigga. This shit right here, it's a lot. How much information do y'all normally get in these workshops, these classes, these things, this, that, and the third? And you're trying to hold all of it in your hand. And some of it is already leaking. You know what I mean? You're dropping some shit. But at the same time, how much of it do you really retain? And then how much of it do you really apply in your practice? How disciplined are you in your shit? How committed are you to see it all the way through? You know what I mean? How many times do you constantly tell yourself you want to get better at this, and it's months later and you still, you know what I'm saying? Look at the social media influence on how dancers look at shit now. You know what I mean? It's you lying to yourself if you think otherwise. Social media has a major influence because I see it all the time within the trends of how things work. 1 minute I see one person doing this, it catches on, then I see a multitude of people doing this shit. These people are collaborating, these people are making these type of videos, and what do you know? I see more people making these type of videos. It's not a problem. I just feel like that's outside of the shit that I'm starting to figure out. Like that's something else. You know what I mean? I remember one of my homies was telling me, like, people look at what they're doing as gentrifying the scene. And I'm like, well, no, that's not correct, because they're not a part of the scene. They're not. Our attention is all just on social media. That's the only fucking shit we looking at. So we give them life, actually, in the same way that I came to y'all in the beginning. I said thank you, because you guys give this channel life. This shit don't mean nothing if I got 5 views. You know what I mean? I still do it just because this is what I like to do, and I'm hoping that it gets to somebody in order to help them reevaluate what it is that they're doing when they practice, or how they view dance, or realize the multitude of dancers that dish shit out at a high level that you probably aren't familiar with outside of even just the big names. LA dancers, to me, do not have a big name in the same way, of course, if we're talking about overseas people. But don't fucking sleep. Shit, I don't even got a name. I don't even got a big name. I bet you I'll fuck you. I'll fuck you up. I'll do damage. In my right space, in my right mind, not influenced by the bullshit. Best believe when it's time for me to clock in, watch, because I'm not even finna speak on it, but watch. So I'm saying the level of discipline towards your craft, that's the key thing. If you don't have the mentorship, try to surround yourself with the people, or if you gotta revert to doing things online, you know what I mean? Go look up your tutorials. Go do your homework. Go find people that are dishing out the information that's necessary for you, because I believe it might be out there. You know what I mean? And if it's not, that's the part where I'm saying it's just unfortunate. You know what I mean? In each scene, in each style, I feel like there are said people that can lead the charge. Last podcast, episode 0, I mentioned Ant and Tao for Chicago Footwork. I highly recommend Baby Tie-Dye's Beast for what he does in the crump scene with Beast Camp. You know what I mean? Online tutorials, helping people, mentoring people. I've seen many people grow under his guidance. You know what I mean? Breeze Lee and Precise, Versastyles. He had a hand on Precise to really get him to the point at where he's at today. Precise ain't the same without Breeze. Mentorship, love, guidance. I'm not the same without Tabo. You know what I mean? Trust me when I say this, I understand how it feels. So I would like to do my part and to be able to try to create a space and give perspective and insight for what I do. Now, for those that can't get the knowledge, I feel like that's where we need to do better. If the OGs aren't doing something, I know there's maybe like Dram, I don't think he's that old. You know what I mean? But I feel like I'm not worried about that community. I can't speak on other communities that I don't know shit about. They probably do, because I see youngsters and I see elders in the same space. But in positions where there's a lack of information to be passed down to the next generation, and you can't rely on elders or who else, then it's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to me. If I'm not seeing what I think needs to be done, but I've already done my part. Now, not everybody can teach. That's a whole nother motherfucking episode and shit like that. That's a whole nother podcast talk. But I'm saying there needs to be people that's leading the charge for some people to follow. Some people need guidance. I'm not talking about following like people on social media where they literally just copy you. But some people need guidance. Guidance ain't the same thing as following. You know what I mean? Some people just follow and they just blindly follow and don't look left or right at all. You guide the person to let them know there are these options available for you. There are these ways of going about it. You don't have to do it in the same way that I'm doing it. You know what I mean? But then it all reverts back to your discipline. How committed are you to working? How committed are you to staying focused? How determined are you to implement the disciplines within your practices to then further discipline yourself when you get to the battle setting or whatever it is, to fully focus, calm yourself down, and demonstrate said discipline? Whether it be your groove, whether it be your foundations, whether it be your creativity, whether it be a culmination of all of it. Obviously, you don't want to dish it out singularly, but that's basically the focus for what I want this episode to revolve around. I feel like I can talk about this all day because of how passionate I am, but I would like to then just say, if you made it to this point, look, man, I fully appreciate you. I fully appreciate you. Hopefully you was able to fully listen and absorb what I was saying. Something that I said stuck out to you, and you're able to take it and fully apply it to your get down, man. You looking at your dance a little bit differently maybe, or maybe you assessing what you need to do next to further, grow within your dance. You know what I mean? And on top of that, if you really look at it, if you really look at the description and you look at the links in there, you're going to see, you're going to see a link, metalspalace.com. Come on, man. Don't fuck with your boy, man. You see what I'm out here doing, right? If you made it this far, I gotta believe you a loyal motherfucker before my shit die. You know what I mean? Just click the link. You know what I mean? If you want to support what your boy is out here doing, and maybe it's not even about the support. Maybe you just want to step your shit up. You know what I mean? Maybe you looking at your closet and you like, damn, I still got that old fucking Target shirt. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I'm still wearing shit from Kmart. Whatever it might be. You support Obey. You support fucking all these other niggas. Support Metal's Palace. Come on, man. If you made it this far, come on. I know you got some nuggets. I know you got some gems, man. Just go ahead and click the link. It's a .com, so you know it's legit. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. But I'm hoping that y'all receive this podcast episode with open arms and you really understanding what the fuck I'm talking about. Because what I know what I'm saying is valid. You know what I mean? Stay tuned. Baby Tight Eyes is next. Baby Tight Eyes is next. You thought it wasn't when it was. Like I said, your boy is working. You know what I mean? Look, man, let me go ahead and let you know what's coming out next before my shit die. It's probably going to die. Look, I might not even get an outro out, but I'm going to talk about my Kobe shirt. You see this shit? Look, man, it's dropping soon. I'm dropping premium heat. Premium heat. I'm dropping 81 on that ass. Look, man. Look, check your boy. Ooh, check your boy out, man. Come on, you think it wasn't? Come on, man. Don't play yourself. I'm Metal, aka your dance doctor. I'm fully thankful for everybody that tapped into this episode. I'm going to see y'all in the comments. Get y'all comment and like the video. Come on, man. Don't let me down. I know you're not going to forget, all right? I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. Y'all be easy. Ooh, peace.